Welcome to today's Explainer. I am incredibly excited to dive into this one with you because we're taking a really fascinating look right under the hood of our own biology. Today, we're focusing entirely on demystifying the instantaneous biological stress response. And we're drawing all of this from the phenomenal research of Ivana Song. We usually think of stress as this heavy thing that builds up over weeks of crazy deadlines or really long, grueling days. But what if I told you that the actual foundation of your stress is constructed in just fractions of a second? It's true. We're going to break down exactly how your brain, your body, and your attention all team up, often completely without your permission, to create stress in the literal blink of an eye.
To really get this, I want you to picture this micro moment. You're sitting at your desk, maybe drinking some water, feeling perfectly calm, and suddenly, ping, your phone lights up. It's a text. Now, before your eyes have even focused on the words, before you've consciously registered who it's from or what the heck they're saying, you feel this sudden visceral drop in your stomach. Your heart flutters. A wave of panic just washes over you. Why does a single text message make your heart race before you've even read it? Think about it. You literally have no idea what the message says yet, but your body is already reacting like it's a 5-alarm fire. How on earth does that happen?
Okay, let's dive into this. We are looking at Section 1, the split-second stress shift, or the anatomy of a micro-moment.
If we put a metaphorical magnifying glass on that tiny fraction of a second, we see that at the exact moment a message, a glance, or even an offhand comment arrives, a subtle but totally undeniable physical shift is already happening inside you. To anyone else in the room, nothing looks dramatic, right? You're just casually glancing at your phone, but internally, your breathing subtly shifts, your attention aggressively narrows down to that single ping. An internal alarm bell goes off, sending a very clear biological signal that says, hey, this requires attention. Your whole system is activated before you've even finished reading the first word.
To understand why this happens so unbelievably fast, we have to look at the engine driving it. That brings us to Section 2, the brain's prediction machine. Jumping to conclusions.
There's this absolutely critical concept in neuroscience you need to know here, called predictive processing. See, your brain is not just some passive receiver, sitting back and patiently waiting for all the facts to roll in before making a judgment. No way. Instead, it desperately tries to stay one step ahead of reality. It continuously works with predictions. As soon as a tiny piece of information appears, your brain is already generating an explanation of what's happening and what it means for you, while the experience itself is still actively unfolding. It's basically like your brain's version of autocomplete, filling in the blanks before the sentence is even remotely finished.
But here's the thing. The brain isn't just making these predictions out of thin air. And that brings us to Section 3, the body's hidden signals shaping reality in real time. This introduces a phenomenal concept called interoception. I absolutely love this concept. Interoception is basically a continuous live feed signal sent straight from your internal systems. We're talking your breathing rate, your heart activity, muscle tension, right up to your brain. Your brain is constantly streaming this data. And here's the truly mind-blowing part. This continuous physiological signal literally shapes how external reality is interpreted. I mean, your internal organs are literally giving real-time emotional and cognitive flavor to your thoughts. And this brilliantly illustrates how wild that is. Let's take the exact same text message. If your body is in a neutral, relaxed state when that message arrives, your brain integrates that calm interoceptive signal, and guess what? The message feels completely neutral. But if you're already in a mild state of tension, maybe you had way too much coffee, you slept terribly, or your shoulders are just tight, your brain integrates that tense signal into its quick assessment. Suddenly, that exact same neutral message carries immediate emotional weight and pressure. The emotional weight didn't come from the text at all. It came entirely from your own baseline physical tension.
Which naturally leads us right into Section 4, the brain salience network, the spotlight in a dark room.
The salience network. Ivana Song uses this absolutely perfect metaphor for it. Think of it as a spotlight sweeping across a pitch-black room. This background system is continuously filtering the massive, overwhelming amount of incoming information hitting you every single second, and it selects exactly what enters your focus. It decides where that spotlight shines, evaluating what's relevant based on your previous experiences and your learned behavioral patterns. Let's trace the rapid-fire sequence of how this spotlight operates when that phone notification hits. It's a super fast, 3-step journey. Step 1. Your insula grabs those bodily signals we just talked about. It establishes the baseline of, okay, how am I feeling right now? Step 2.
the anterior cingulate cortex takes that feeling and directs your attention, deciding, yep, this text message must remain at the absolute center of our focus. And step 3, the amygdala. Seeing this highly focused, tense situation just cranks up the dial. It rapidly increases the emotional significance so your system can respond faster. All of this is happening to escalate your emotional intensity in literally a fraction of a second.
So here's the crucial point, and it's kind of a trap. You get stuck in this exact feedback loop. Stress literally emerges and locks in because all this activation happens way before your conscious awareness can step in and say, hold on a minute. Your brain forms an initial tense interpretation. Your body immediately responds to that tense guess by getting tenser. And then your brain feels your body's tense response, and it actually uses that as confirmation of its original interpretation. Aha, we are in danger. Each cycle strengthens the next, organizing your entire biological system around one single dominant pattern of panic.
And this right here is the climax of stress activation. Everything is hitting at once. The brain continuously predicts danger. The body continuously signals tension. Attention continuously filters out absolutely anything that isn't the perceived threat. These three massive systems align forcefully toward urgency and high importance. And the absolute craziest part, this massive, exhausting biological alignment happens before a complete picture of the situation even exists in your conscious mind. You are fully stressed before you even know what you're stressed about.
Phew. Okay, so how do we stop it? That brings us to our final section, Section 5, expanding your mental perspective and taking back control.
Now that we actually know the biology of the trap, we can look at the incredible biological solution we all possess. We have this built-in conscious braking system called the prefrontal cortex. When this area of the brain gets active, it completely changes the game. It steps in, pumps the brakes, and expands your perspective. It applies a wider temporal frame, meaning it looks beyond just this one split second of panic, and it incorporates more actual contextual information. When your prefrontal cortex engages, your emotional responses lose their rigidity. The system stops jumping to conclusions. It finally takes a breath and looks at the whole picture.
So, to flip the switch on that prefrontal cortex, you simply need to change the conditions in which your response is formed, and you do this through conscious regulation. We're talking physically or mentally stepping back from the situation for a second, engaging in mindful breathing, literally just taking a deep breath to alter that tense interoceptive signal your body is streaming to your brain. By becoming aware of your internal triggers, you intentionally stabilize your body. And when your body signals stability, your brain finally stops predicting an emergency, and your attention becomes flexible all over again.
I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful thought, straight from Ivana Song's research. She says, when this system is understood, the space between stimulus and response becomes larger. By decoding these automatic stress patterns, you are no longer just at the mercy of a split-second physical reaction. You're actually widening that tiny fraction of a second into a tangible, manageable space. And it's exactly within that expanded space where real, lasting change begins.
So, I leave you with this final question. Now that you know exactly how your brain, your body, and your attention try to rush you into stress, how will you use your newly expanded space today? The next time your phone pings, remember that you have the power to consciously determine what's truly important. You hold the power to decide whether a stress response is actually needed. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to keep exploring the incredible machinery of your own mind. Catch you next time!